Alright, hello YouTube. This is Faded Exception and I am bringing you a Photoshop tutorial. I'm going to show you, teach you how to create a style similar to this. I'm not going to teach you this exact one because I've put some time into it, but I'll teach you something very similar. So we're going to start out by going File, New on Photoshop, and the default resolution that I always use is the 1920 by 1080, just because that's a well-rounded guess about most resolutions for desktops. So we're just gonna fill the background with a black color, and we'll start out by picking our font. I'm gonna use the Batman Forever font, and we're going to use our text. We're just gonna go ahead and type what we want. So we're gonna center it, and then press Control T, and that's the free transform. Drag it to the size that you want. The bigger, the easier it'll be. So we're going to center the text again and go ahead and accept that. So now we're going to go over here to our tools. We're going to right click and select this polygonal lasso tool. Now what that's going to allow us to do is we're going to be able to select a certain amount of the text that we want, and when we hold control, we have to rasterize our text first. Now when we hold control, we'll be able to move that chunk somewhere. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to get it, and we're going to select chunks that are about this size, and you can do as many or as little as you want. Just make sure it's of your liking, because you don't want to do something that you don't want to do, because that's the most important thing about doing graphic design, is that you like your own work. So I'm going to do this, and I'll be back when I finish. Alright, so now I've finished with that. Now we're going to go back to our tools, click the magic wand tool, and we're going to select each one. And to select multiple ones, we're going to hold shift. So we're going to select all of our pieces that are broken off of our main text. Alright, now once you finish that, you're going to right click and you're going to go layer via cut. And now once you have the layer via cut done, now it is two separate layers. So if you were to select this layer, you can move it around, but we're going to leave it there. And we'll name this one pieces, I guess. Okay, well, next we're going to add our image into the background. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come to our image that we want, and just make sure it covers the text completely. And in this case, we're going to need two of the images, so we're going to press Ctrl J on the image, and that's going to make a copy of it. Okay, so now we have our two layers of text and then our two layers of the image. So we're going to right click and select pixels of the pieces, or whichever one you want to do first, and then you're going to click the image, the little thumbnail of one of the copies, and click this button right here. And then we're going to do the same for the other. Right click, select pixels, select the image, and create the mask. Well, now we have this effect. Well, these two layers right here are worthless now, so we can go ahead and just delete those. And let's go ahead and group our text. Okay, well, now that we have that, let's go ahead and find our pieces again. Let's go to our blending options, and let's create a drop shadow on it. And we're not going to make it very distinct because we don't want it super bright, just something small but effective. So what we have now would be pretty good, you know, a 73, the distance is 15, spread and size, but this is all going to vary on depending on how big your text is and how dark you want it. Well, we don't want much more, so let's just go to inner glow and add just a small glow to it. Alright, we'll go about 35. And now we're going to go here and add just a little bit of glow because we don't want it extremely dark. So we don't want it all the way up, but you know, about 60, 61. That's about where we're going to want it. Okay. Well, now that we have our text completed, now let's go ahead and add our glow at the top. So we're going to do a new layer, and we don't want the glow that we make, we don't want it over the text. So let's go ahead and drag it under our text. Let's rename it, stay organized. glow. And we're gonna zoom out, and then we want a white glow, so let's go ahead and select that. And let's make our brush size bigger and go right over it and click. Well, now we don't want it that bright because that is really bright. Look how dim it is there. So let's go ahead and go to our opacity and let's lower it way down. Around there will work. Okay. Well, that's about it with our glow. So let's go ahead and go back and let's do our little abstract lines. So let's go ahead and have these, and we'll have it above the glow because we don't want it affected by the white. Alright, so now that we have our glow, let's get this pen tool, and we're just gonna come over here and add a very simple curve in it. We don't want an extreme one. Well, with the pen tool, you have to connect them, so let's go ahead and go like that. Connect the two dots around the outside of it. Now we're gonna go make selection. Now that we've made our selection, now what we're going to do is let's move our selection because we don't want it right there. Let's move it up a little bit. Alright, now get your brush tool and get a color that you want. I prefer blue just for what we're doing. Make your brush smaller for the sake of it. And just lightly brush over the line. And then you can unselect it. And now that you have that. So let's go ahead and use our free transform tool and adjust it to our liking. Alright, so now let's Control J, which duplicates it, and we're going to pull it up. Control T, which is our free transform. We're going to flip horizontal and then flip vertical just to make it totally opposite of it, and we're going to put it in the opposite corner. Okay, and now to give it the second one, let's Control J again, and then let's put this one in front of it. We need to make it a little bigger to where it's not sticking off the edge. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to right click, go to our blending options, and go to the cover overlay, and change it to a color you'd like. The last one I used orange, but I'm going to use a pink purplish color here. So now I'm going to get my eraser, and then make sure this one is selected, and just erase away as much as you want. I'm going to make this one really short, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over to this one, Control J. I'm going to drag it out, make it bigger. Alright, so I'm going to drag it out, and then now I'm going to get this one, where I don't have to, pick the same color because that's hard often. I'm just going to copy layer style and then paste it on here, and then grab my eraser again and erase the opposite way this time. I'm going to make this one a little longer, and that's pretty much it. But to give it a little more of another effect, let me go ahead and group these. Well, to give it more of another effect, what we're going to do is, let me get my layer that I just put in here. Just delete it. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go under our text, and we're going to get like a gray brush. Let's make it a little bigger, and let's turn the opacity way down. Well, now you can just, it's not really visible there, so let's go up some. Still not visible. Let's go above our text, maybe. We have the eraser out. Maybe that would help something. So yeah, so now that we can actually see what we're doing because we're using the brush, now let's change the opacity way back down. Okay, yeah, see, it's very faint. So now what we're going to do, let's go ahead and undo this. We're going to make our brush bigger, and we're just going to do little small outlines, just to give it a little foggy effect almost. Just randomly place them. Alright, now we can always, now that we have this, we're just going to name this fog. Now that we have this done, you can always go down here and then change your brightness and contrast to to really give emphasis on certain things and take them away. So we're just gonna put both of them up a little bit to give, we'll pull them down on this one. No, I'm just gonna leave this alone. Maybe no brightness contrast for me. You can always go to the hue and saturation, and you can just mess around here to change your little abstract markings. You can make them a little polyier, but it changes them, and usually they match, but sometimes you get two colors that go nothing together. Well, it's just messing around with the hue and saturation, and you can just mess around in here and do what you want. But we'll call it the end of that tutorial. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed, like and subscribe for more. Thanks.